Hello students, welcome to All Force e-learning channel. This is K. Nageshwar Rao, your physics faculty. Today we are about to deal with session number 99, Current Electricity second year NEET. Let us see what we can do in this session. In the previous session we have seen what the potentiometer principle and its theory was discussed. So today we will discuss about applications of potentiometer. Before that, let us recollect terminal potential difference. It was already discussed earlier in the previous sessions when we had cells related discussion, isn't it? So let us recollect what terminal potential difference is. See, if you take a circuit something like this, a cell with EMF E and internal resistance R, if an external resistance R is connected, then the terminal potential difference, when this resistance is drawing current from the cell, at that time, whatever potential difference is present across these electrodes, that potential difference is called as terminal potential difference. It is expressed as V is equal to U E minus IR. In case of charging of a cell, it will be V is equal to E plus IR. In case of discharging of a cell, it is V is equal to E minus IR. We have seen all these details earlier. Okay, this equation can be further modified as R is equal to E minus V by I. Here R is internal resistance of the cell. We need these details for further discussion, so that I am recollecting all these details. Further, this I, whatever I is there in the denominator, it can be replaced with I is equal to V by R, where this V is terminal potential difference. If I is replaced with V by R, see, what do we get? V by R, and this R goes to the numerator here. Now E minus V by V into R, so you can divide with V, you will have E by V minus 1 into R. So internal resistance of a cell is equal to E minus V, E by V minus 1 into R, isn't it? So remember this, children. So internal resistance of a cell is equal to what? E by V minus 1 into R, where E is EMF of the cell, V is the terminal potential difference, and R is resistance, which is drawing current from the cell. Okay, so remember this equation. So we'll be using this equation further. And before I go ahead, I'll discuss one more point. Just have a look at this small circuit. This is related to this circuit. We have already discussed one problem in the previous sessions. If you see here, two cells are connected like this, isn't it? It's not a parallel combination. You can say that these are connected in parallel combination when this, from here and from this side, if you have taken any other connection, then you can say that these two things are connected in parallel combination. But right now here, what is happening? See, it's a loop, and here this 12-volt cell is trying to drive the current in anti-clockwise direction, whereas a 6-volt cell is trying to drive the current in clockwise direction. But 12-volt cell will dominate the circuit, isn't it? Because it is having a more EMF. So the resultant current will be in anti-clockwise direction. So when the current is moving in this loop in anti-clockwise direction, what happens? 12-volt cell undergoes discharge, 6-volt cell undergoes charging, isn't it? We have seen this one earlier. Now the question is, what if both are 12-volt cells only? Then what will happen? Both are 12-volt cells, and this, both are of similar internal resistance as well. 3 ohms here, 3 ohms here. Okay. In this case, this cell will try to drive the current in anti-clockwise direction, and this cell also drives the current in same amount of current in the clockwise direction. So the resultant current will be 0. So if both are of same EMF, then there won't be any current flowing in this loop, isn't it? Okay, so just remember this point as well. We'll be using this kind of details ahead, to understand balancing of a galvanometer in a potentiometer. Okay, so let us go ahead. Remember these 2 points, children. One is internal resistance of a cell is expressed as E by V minus 1 into R, where E is EMF of the cell, V is terminal potential difference, and R is external resistance connected to the cell. And here, if both are having same EMF, then current, there won't be any current. Okay, so remember these 2 points. Let us go ahead. Applications of potentiometer. The first application is finding internal resistance of a cell. So let us take one circuit here. This is what a potentiometer circuit is. So between A and B, potentiometer wire is taken. Okay, and here one rheostat is taken. Rheostat is something whose resistance can be varied. Okay, desired value of resistance can be set in the circuit, and here one key arrangement is given. So this is our this is one cell. Okay, so this entire circuit is called as a primary circuit. Okay, we have already discussed in the previous session number in 98th session, right? So this circuit is called as primary circuit, and whatever this additional circuit arrangement is there, that's called secondary circuit. Okay, so now my interest is I wanted to find out internal resistance of this cell. I wanted to derive an equation for internal resistance of this cell of EMF capital E. Okay, so let us try to find out. See, here one galvanometer is used, and whatever this arrow mark is there, that arrow mark indicates jockey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tap with the jockey. Children, one more point here, K is open. If K is open, what does it mean? This resistance is not R1 or R dash, whatever resistance is here, that is not included in the circuit. So it's not connected. It's open. Okay, it's open here. Key is open. Okay, it's not closed. So since key is open, only this cell was taken into the circuit. Cell was taken into the circuit. So here with the jockey, when I keep on tapping at various points, I am going to see current passing through this branch, because galvanometer shows a deflection. But somewhere you can find a point where if you tap with the jockey, there won't be any current in this branch. How you are going to identify that? If galvanometer doesn't show any deflection, we can say that the current passing through this branch is 0. Okay, so when you keep on tapping this potentiometer wire with the jockey, so what happens at some point of time, galvanometer doesn't show any deflection. So it indicates that there is no current passing through this branch. This also indicates that when you tap here, for example, let us say, well, let me consider one point, X is potential gradient. Let us say when I have tapped here at over a length equal to L1, or this point where it was tapped, it is at a distance equal to L1 from this point A. So when it was tapped here, at that time, let us say galvanometer is not showing deflection. It means if you imagine a cell here, okay, across this L1 length, there will be some potential difference, right? So in place of that potential difference, if you imagine a cell, whatever potential that cell is possessing, whatever EMF that cell is possessing, that EMF and this EMF both are same, so that there is no any current passing through this branch, so that galvanometer is showing null deflection. Let me repeat this point again. So when you tap the jockey here, if galvanometer is not showing any deflection, it means current is not passing through this branch. Current is not passing through this branch because whatever EMF of this cell is there, capital E, that has become exactly equal to potential difference across this length L1. Potential difference across this length L1. Okay. Previously we have discussed if two cells are connected, like positive is terminal of one battery, one cell is connected to the positive terminal of the other cell, and the negative terminal of one cell is connected to negative terminal of another cell. In such cases, if both are having EMF, current flow is 0. Similarly here, potential difference across this length L1, if it is exactly equal to EMF of this cell, then there won't be any current through this branch. Okay, so this particular length L1 is called as balancing length. Now the question is, how much is potential difference across this length L1? See, X is what? Potential gradient, potential per unit length. Over a length L1, what will be the potential? X into L1, that's it. So that X into L1 potential is exactly equal to what? E. So that, we are seeing a null deflection in the galvanometer. So what equation you can write? EMF of the cell is exactly equal to potential difference across a length equal to L1. This is a very, very important conclusion. In a similar manner, we will be handling further applications also. Okay. So whenever there is a null deflection in the galvanometer, we say that we have obtained balancing length, and whatever potential difference is there across that length, that potential difference is exactly equal to potential difference across the secondary circuit. Here in the secondary circuit, only one element is present, that is cell. This is cell. So whatever this cell EMF is there, that EMF is exactly equal to potential difference across this L1, which is balancing length here. So you can write E is equal to XL1. Similarly, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to close the key here. When I close the key here like this R1 or R dash resistance was also taken into circuit. Now this R1, when it is connected to this cell, what happens? It starts drawing current from the cell. At that time, whatever potential difference is present across the electrodes of the cell, that potential difference is called as terminal potential difference. We have just now seen that. So when this R dash is connected to this cell, at that time, it starts drawing current from the cell. At that time, whatever potential drop is present across the electrodes of this cell, that potential is called as terminal potential difference. Now, if at all, if I'm going to obtain a balancing length L2, what does it indicate? It indicates that potential difference across this length L2 is exactly equal to terminal potential difference across these electrodes, isn't it? So the equation will be V is equal to X into L2. Similarly, similar to the previous equation, E is equal to XL1 here. Here, terminal potential V is equal to XL2. Now, let us divide these two equations. If you divide these two equations, what you will get? E by V is equal to L1 by L2, isn't it? And in the previous slide, we have seen small r, internal resistance, is equal to E by V minus 1 into R dash. This is what I told you to, to remember. Now, in place of E by V, what I can replace? I can replace with L1 by L2. Right. So this is our equation. With the help of this equation, you can find out internal resistance of a given cell. All that you will be reading from the potentiometer is L1, L2 values, and you can substitute here. And this R dash is connected in the secondary circuit. Its value is known to us. By substituting R dash value, L1, L2 values, we will be able to find out the internal resistance of this cell. So that's how internal resistance of the cell can be found. Next, let us see one small problem here. In a potentiometer experiment, the balancing length with a cell is 560 centimeters. So what is the balancing length? 560 centimeters. When an external resistance of 10 ohms is connected in parallel to the cell, like here, see, this R dash is connected parallel to E. Similarly, what he is talking about? He is talking about connecting an external resistance of 10 ohms parallel to the cell. The balancing length changes by 60 centimeters. Changes by 60 centimeters. He has not given the balancing length. It was said that it changes by 60 centimeters. Find the internal resistance of the cell. Now here, students try to understand this. It was said that the balancing length changes by 60. Whether it increases or decreases, it was not mentioned, isn't it? But see here, let us have a look at the previous circuit. Here, when compared to E, obviously terminal potential difference will be smaller value, isn't it? If this is a small, L2 is going to be small, because in these two cases X is common, right? So in the question, what happens, here, when the balancing length is obtained as 560, and if external resistance is also connected in parallel to the cell, and then again if we find out the balancing length, that balancing length is going to be less than 560, isn't it? Because just now we have seen when E is equal to XL1 in the sense L1 is greater, and V is equal to XL2 in the sense L2 is less than L1. So here the L2 value can be written as a 560 minus 60. So that's how you have to identify conceptually this thing, whether it is increase or decrease. Okay, so let us see one by one. Balancing length is how much? 560 centimeters, L1 value. So here changes by, it was said that changes by, it can be written as L1 minus L2 is equal to 60 centimeters. Okay, I'm telling you once again here, whether it is L2 minus L1 or L1 minus L2, you have to identify conceptually. So we have identified already that it is L1 minus L2, because after you connect the resistance to the cell, what happens? Potential difference decreases. If potential difference decreases, balancing length also decreases. So L2 will be less than L1. So L1 minus L2 is equal to what? 60 centimeters. So L1 is 560. So 560 minus L2, 60. So L2 is how much? 500 centimeters. Or without doing this also directly, you can write 500. Okay. Now let us find out internal resistance of the cell. So R is equal to R into capital R into L1 minus L2 by L2. That implies R is equal to, capital R is given as 10 ohms. Substitute here into L1 minus L2 is 60 by 500. L2 is how much? 500. So finally the answer is 1.2 ohms. So that's how you can find out internal resistance. Let us see one more application. Which application? Comparing EMFs of cells. I have taken one circuit here. Two cells are there. Comparing two EMFs in the sense, for example, if I say that E1 is equal to 2 times E2, what I am doing here? I am comparing one cell with the other cell. It is double the EMF, or or it is half of E2. If I am talking like that, what I am doing? I am comparing cells, comparing EMF of the cells. So let us consider this circuit. Here two cells were taken. E1 is EMF of one cell, E2 is EMF of another cell. Here a two-way key is there. If you want, you can connect from here to here, or you can disconnect this terminal 1 and you can connect it to terminal 2. Like this you can do. So this is our primary circuit, potentiometer circuit. This is potentiometer wire, and this is jockey, this is galvanometer. Now if I connect galvanometer to this terminal 1, if I find a balancing length, it means whatever potential difference is there across that balancing length, that potential difference is exactly equal to EMF of this cell. Okay, because I am connecting to this terminal 1, it means only E1 is connected into the circuit. E2 is left open, it is not connected. Okay, so let us see one by one. Yeah, here I have made a contact. So now E1 is a part of the circuit, secondary circuit. This E2 is still left unconnected. It is not connected. Now balancing length, let us say the balancing length is L1. So what I can write, E1 is equal to X into L1, where X is potential gradient. So no need to stress on this point. X, wherever you see X in the discussion, that X is potential gradient. Potential per unit length. Over a length L1, what is the potential? X into L1 is the potential difference. Now here, if L1 is balancing length, E1 is equal to XL1. Similarly, in the second, in this circuit, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to disconnect this terminal 1, I will connect this terminal 2. Okay, it means now this E1 is disconnected from the secondary circuit. E2 is included in the secondary circuit, isn't it? This is open. Here it is open. It means E1 is not a part of the circuit now. Right, now I'm going to find out the balancing length. Let us say balancing length is L2. Balancing length in the sense, potential difference across this length L2 is exactly equal to EMF of this cell. So what I can write, E2 is equal to XL2. So just divide these two equations, what you will get? You will get E1 by E2 is equal to L1 by L2. So this is what, what comparing EMFs of two cells means. Okay, now here, instead of taking cells like this, what happens if two cells are connected side by side, like in series? Let us see that. Here two cells are connected like this in series. They are correctly connected, not wrongly connected. Negative terminal is connected to the positive terminal. So here effective EMF will be E1 plus E2. If at all, if I see any balancing length here, that balancing length indicates that the potential difference across balancing length is exactly equal to what are EMFs of these two cells. So here, if L1 is the balancing length, what does it mean? It means E1 plus E2 is exactly equal to potential difference across this length L1. Okay, so what is the corresponding equation? E1 plus E2 is equal to potential gradient into L1. Similarly, now I'll connect one cell wrongly like this. Negative terminal is connected to the negative terminal of another cell. So here, if E1 is greater than E2, effective EMF will be E1 minus E2. Let us say balancing length is L2. So E1 minus E2 can be written as X into L2. If I divide these two equations, what I will get, E1 plus E2 by E1 minus E2, which is equal to L1 by L2. And further, if it is reduced, E1 by E2 comes out to be as L1 plus L2 by L1 minus L2. So this is how you can compare cells, okay, in different configurations in the circuit. Okay, let us try one small problem. In a potentiometer experiment, when a battery of EMF 2 volts is included in the secondary circuit, the balance point is 500 centimeters. Okay, so 2 volts cell is included in the secondary circuit and the balance point is 500 centimeters. So this 500 centimeter is L1 value. This 2 volts is E1 value. Find the balancing length of the same end when a cadmium cell of EMF 1.018 volts is connected to the secondary circuit. So we have to find out L2. This time another cell is connected whose EMF is equal to 1.018. So what we have to find out? We have to find out now L2. So let us see. It's a very simple. E1 by E2 is equal to what? L1 by L2. E1 is already given. How much is that? 2 volts. What we want? We wanted to find out L2. So L2 can be written as E2 by E1 into L1. So E2 is 1.018. E1 2 volts. L1 500 centimeters. So further, if it is substituted, this is what we'll get. And finally, the answer is 254.5 centimeters. Okay, so this is how very basic problems connected with the comparison of EMFs of two cells can be handled. Okay, so all that you should remember is, whenever you write an equation something like this, you should know why you are writing this equation. This L1 is called as balancing length. Across this balancing length, the potential is written as X into L1, where X is potential per unit length, potential gradient. Okay, so if I am writing an equation something like this, E1 plus E2 is equal to XL1, it means potential drop across L1 length, which is XL1, is exactly equal to E1 plus E2. If that is the situation, then there won't be any current through the galvanometer. Okay, when there is no any current through the galvanometer, at that time, whatever length you see in the circuit here, okay, there will be a meter scale here. Okay, so when you are tapping with the jockey, with the help of meter scale, you will be able to read the length of the wire. Okay, so whatever potential is there across this length, that is exactly equal to what? E1 plus E2. Okay, so this is what we have been doing with all other problems also. Thank you, students. So with this, I will conclude my session. In the next session also, we'll proceed with few problems and few applications connected with the potentiometer. Thank you, students.